Let me turn that off. Turn that on. Hey, look at this. It works.
Wow.
All these cables and stuff I have connected. The internet's connected. Everything is working. Fantastic.
You're creating magic.
Yeah, well, a couple years ago, this was certainly magic. Nowadays, we take it for granted when we always get mad when something doesn't work.
Absolutely. And the fact that you can do that from inside a bar, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody might walk in the door back there, but that's okay. We'll just ignore them. Oh, I have a telephone too, don't I? Yeah, I do. A rotary phone. This is my favorite. This is the one that Tim...
Right there.
It's an old one. That's the one Tim Cook calls every once in a while. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that he calls in, but yeah.
I wish we could time travel back to the 70s and so I could listen to that. And I used to love the top 10 hits that you could call and the number one, afternoon delight,
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I was a kid, of course, they had rotary phones, and there used to be party lines. You old enough to remember those?
Yes. So you had to keep your conversation at a certain,
demeanor.
Level,
Level, yes.
You'd always think mommy's listening, but it's actually your friend's mommy that's listening.
Exactly. Exactly. So we got our first comment from India, SM Vlog. And he says, hello, Dan, as well.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about the SuperMeet. In a few minutes. We're still going to talk a little bit before that. So you are on the East Coast with me. Thank God.
I am. I'm in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Manchester, New Hampshire. So
about 50 miles away from Boston.
Okay.
North. And used to live in Boston, but I moved back to my hometown. I just felt like I wanted to be there. It's like so centrally located between ocean, lakes, forest, you name it, Metro, Boston, etc. And I wanted to give back to the folks here in my community. I was doing a lot and a fun, passionate effort at doing community in Boston, based at Emerson College. And I was running my Boston my Boston Creative Pro User Group, which started as the Boston Final Cut Pro User Group, but that was, 20 years ago when I started that.
Exactly. Now, were you around during the Rathskeller days, that club?
Oh, yeah. In fact, Richard, you struck a chord in my heart because we loved the channel, the Rat. I would go with my friends and have steak tips for lunch at the Rat.
Okay. I had a record contract with a company out of Boston. It was Star Rhythm Records, and they had the Real Kids signed on their label. Remember the Real Kids from the Rathskeller? Yeah. They used to play the Rathskeller. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a contract back in the day, and they were recording actually Cub Coda from Brownsville Station too at that time, because he produced my first record for them. I was in the studio with him all day, 8 hours. Yeah,
that's great. I didn't realize that you had a musical background like that. Well, I met so many bands there. The Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Well, actually, my friend Tim Burton. I went to school with him to college, I should say.
Right.
Both in the film studies department. He made his Super 8 film that he showed. Let's just say that it may be poo-pooed on TV right now, but
sure.
It's fun. We had a very amazing time, back then, being able to have creativity and whatnot, and just really explore different subjects, which they still do.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, my brother went to Boston University for a while, and he used to rave about this local band they used to play at their parties is a little band called Aerosmith.
Oh yeah, yeah, little band.
Little band. He said these guys are so good.
I think they're doing their "We're Back from the Grave" tour.
Yeah,
No, they're actually doing a world tour right now, which I toyed with seeing, but I have so many concerts lined up. I only have a certain budget, but
sure, absolutely.
um, yeah,
So
I
let's
saw Iggy Pop at the Channel, all sorts of memorable musical occasions. We had the nightlife there. I mean, I would be there every Friday night
Yep,
between the Channel and the Rat.
yep.
But yeah,
There you go. So anyway, we're here to talk about this thing called, where's my microphone? This thing called the SuperMeet. Now, in the past, I've been to
that,
3 SuperMeets. You had an auditorium with the stage. This year, it's different. Tell us what's going on this year.
well, we've all remember COVID.
Yes,
And we're still in the
absolutely.
midst of it, but we're getting back to normal. And what I wanted to do was not to do. I don't want to put people inside a hotel room sitting down and row by row in front of the stage. That we can do maybe a couple of years from now when things are back to normal. But
Right.
the biggest thing that I wanted to do is to have the big love in, everyone give each other a hug and hey, we're back. We are
Yes.
back at NAB, and
Right.
NAB is back. And I actually waited and waited. I would normally start this last year, but I actually started working on this in I'd say January,
Okay.
and I had to move actually the date from we were typically NAB Tuesday,
Right.
but now that NAB has moved back a day, and they start actually on
Sunday.
Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
It just didn't make sense for me to hold a super meet that had such a high budget on the last day of NEB when lots of people are going home.
Sure.
So we're now on Mondays, and as long as we have NEB having that schedule, we will stay on Monday. And the big thing is you go from event to event, and that's what everyone does. People would go from my event on Tuesday to the AJA party, which is fun, and I would love to be there. But at the end of a super meet, the way we used to do it, I just wanted to take a shower and go to bed.
I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean.
But again, we would do these smaller events that didn't have a stage show, and we would have vendors, and sometimes we wouldn't, and they weren't super meets. Super meets are huge events
Right.
that have a big vendor showcase, and then on the other side has a big, huge auditorium that can seat anywhere from, 600 in San Francisco to 1,400 in Las Vegas. And
Right.
our um, our largest number to date was either a toss up between the Venetian and Bally's when Final Cut 10 was announced.
Right.
I have so much gratitude for Apple for helping us through the years, and it was it was bucket list for us to be able to be part of the team, if you will, or the cast and crew that would make Final Cut Pro available. And we all didn't know what was happening, so Apple Marcom would say, say this and say that, and said, okay, that's fine. But
Yeah.
we were on stage in front of people, and when we all heard that, um, when Richard Townhill announced that it was $299, you could hear it just a wave throughout the audience, and it's never, don't look back. We're
Yeah.
looking
Because
towards the future.
we were
I'm
looking at
about to,
over $1,000 in those days for the studio, Final Cut Studio.
right now, and then, um, oh my God, the devices that you can use, which I'm still hoping, if you're listening, Apple, please put it on the iPad Pro. Um, that would be really fun, or at least be able to edit and then move it to Final Cut Pro 10 on your Macs. And I'm really excited because I decided to start doing more for my business, and I set up a lease for me to have multiple computers. And one of them, the first one, I've decided I'm going to do a top of the line decked out Mac Studio.
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah.
I checked out like different storage options to see what would be interesting to accompany a Mac Studio, and not just buy the 8 terabyte. But there's no real Thunderbolt 4 storage device right now, and everything is Thunderbolt 3. And I've done that before. I bought Thunderbolt 2, and I still have those. And they run, but they're more so an archive device. And the whole idea of being able to edit in Final Cut and Adobe, whatever NLE you use, and then utilize the power of the inside storage SSD with the power of the for me, it's the M1 Ultra all the
Okay.
way.
Now, the question, well, first off, you can now edit on an iPad Pro and export it for Final Cut Pro with Lumafusion. $29.
What's it called?
Lumafusion.
Oh, I have that, but it's not Final Cut Pro. I mean, yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually it's to me it's more advanced than Final Cut Pro. Once they bring it to the iPad, because first off, they're not going to be able to port the full version of Final Cut Pro to the iPad, because I'll tell you two things. I have over 1,000 plugins. Where are they going to go on the iPad?
Right.
Number two is I'm hooked up to a 56 terabyte RAID 5 via Thunderbolt 4. How am I going to connect that to my iPad? Right?
We must wait for Apple to reveal the magic that they will
Well,
on us.
but I don't think they're going to have a full version of Final Cut, and they already have a light version. It's called iMovie.
Right. Well, again, just make the workflow easier so I can go,
Yes,
go to the
yes.
mountains and edit something while they're on my iPad, then throw it into, Final Cut 10 on the Mac.
Right,
and do what I
absolutely.
do.
I
And someday
think,
there will be,
yeah.
someday there will be it doesn't matter what NLE you edit in. You could edit, you could edit in the Adobe apps on the iPad and bring that into Final Cut 10, or vice versa, just like the old days, through the magic of XML.
Right, but
You should
you
have,
still
if you haven't, I was just
go
going
ahead.
to say, if you haven't spoken to or had a chat with Philip Hodgetts, you
Yes,
should.
I had him on one of the last shows.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, I do all the time. But look, we still don't have B-RAW in Final Cut Pro, and we don't have ProRes RAW in Resolve, and that's not technical. That's not a technical issue. It's a political issue, I'm sure. Something going on.
Well, all big loving. We all love you. You all love us.
I agree.
Story's better, and just do it.
I hear people
One
all the
thing-
time. I don't even edit with B-RAW. I don't have a B-RAW, Blackmagic camera, but I hear that people that use that all the time get B-RAW in Final Cut. That it's I want it there too, even though I don't use it, because I hear it all the time from people, and it can't be a technical reason. It has
Right.
to be whatever they haven't worked out whatever issues they have between the two companies, but Apple sells the Blackmagic, what is it, the external device that they use, a graphics something or other. So they work
the
together.
eGPU.
Yeah, the
They're-
eGPU.
I believe they're sort of not end of life, but I don't think they're coming up with any new models. It
Right.
works. It's great, but
It doesn't work. Does it work on the M1 or not? I don't even know.
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into that lately. I mean, at one point I really did want one, but then I decided to wait. What is interesting though, it's all about camera to cloud, frame.io. We are not worthy. Thank you so much. But at the same time, frame.io does work with other NLEs. Blackmagic just today announced that they are in 4 days, 22 hours, 38 minutes, and 25 seconds, will have a DaVinci Resolve cloud update.
Really? I saw the announcement, but I thought they typically, in the last couple of times, I think in 2019, they had an event right before NAB. They had their press conference at NAB but maybe it was last year. I can't remember. One of the times they did their own event before NAB announcing all of their products. They didn't wait for NAB. So
March. Right.
Yeah.
They won't be having, to my knowledge, they won't be having that press conference on.
No, they're not doing that this year.
Right. No. But I'm sure quite still, they're still going to be the biggest booth at NAB.
Oh, they're gigantic. It's maybe not quite as big as it was in 2019, but it's still, I looked at the layout, and it's still a very big block that says Black Magic. And that's one of the places that I always go to. I always enjoy the Black Magic people. If they're going to put out Resolve 18 this year or 17.5, whatever update they do, what can they do with cameras? They're up to 12K. I mean, where are they going to go with cameras? I mean, they're doing something, of course, in other devices.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have something that they'll announce. Maybe not necessarily for NAB, maybe afterwards, but it's all good. I still have my original Pocket Cinema camera, and it's still useful. It's fun. It's
Absolutely
great to put in the hands of a child and see how they tell their stories with it. The same thing could be said about having an older iPhone or a Canon PowerShot or a Sony RX1, 10, whatever.
Right, right.
It's all about, these are the Super 8 cameras of our age. Back then, I mean, I learned at Emerson College filmmaking. We started with Super 8, editing on a chop block, editing block, splicing together, scratching little stories into it. I love doing that in 16 millimeter film.
Right.
Yeah, but so many fun memories. Going back to the Super Meetup though, it's all about being together, and we really wanted to have a relaxed, informal event. I originally was looking at West Hall. They have an outdoor patio.
Okay.
That hasn't been used. It's 14,000 square feet, and it's in the second level, and it's got a beautiful view and strip. And I was moving that way, but then I realized that I really wanted to take people out of the confines of the trade show, and I really wanted to have an outdoor venue. And so, me being myself, I said, no, I've got to go for the best one. And so I had a chat. I had a chat with the folks over at Beer Park, and that was it. This year we will have the outdoor venue that has a capacity of 500. And I must say, as of today, I believe people will be on a waiting list because we've already gone past, I think we're at like 515 or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. And then next year, next year we'll definitely utilize the indoor venue and have a new style of conversations in show and tells. It's not going to be in a hotel. It's going to be next year at Beer Park. Inside will be the conversations, kind of almost like a round robin style. And then outside is going to be the celebration and fun and merriment and libation and conversations between the sponsors and you and me, and
absolutely
lots of social media happening, and no jumping off the patio. It's funny. We have a friend, mutual friend, Jim Tierney from Digital Anarchy, and I really wanted to make his dream happen, which was to have fire performers performing out in the patio. That would have been amazing. But this year, no. We have to make sure that we, cross the,
Sure. No, absolutely.
Do everything right. And there are fire laws, but, who knows? Maybe next year we'll do it on the street or something. But what people will be able to see is the Bellagio fountains right across the street.
So I'm going to bring up the Beer Park right now. This is the Beer Park. So it says it's a rooftop place, restaurant. Is that what it is?
It's right underneath the Eiffel Tower at the Paris Hotel.
Okay.
Where else would you want to be?
No, absolutely.
you know. And it's easy access. You don't even have to enter the hotel. You just go right in front of the Eiffel Tower and go up. And then there is such a, they call it the beer park experience. Well, it really
Right.
is.
Right.
It's laid out. There's a beer garden you can see there with all the tables.
Right.
There are lounge sofas, chairs, two bars with seats all around it each.
Right.
There, there is there you can play pool, foosball, video games. What else? There's a couple other games, and there are 26 LED displays spread throughout the venue. So what
26.
we'll do is, yeah, I
Wow.
know it's great and amazing, and we can pump the same image going through. So what we're going to do is for a couple portions of our super meetup, we're going to have a conversation with a filmmaker, and we're going to pass that through all the screens so that
I
people
see.
don't have to huggle around, the stage, which is not a stage. I mean, it's just a 4x8 riser, but just so that we'll put a chair in there, and he can be above everyone. But
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the stage aspect because I'm used to having a stage at SuperMeet, so I was wondering about that. But all those screens it's like a gigantic sports bar,
yeah,
right?
it's what I've always wanted at a super meet where we have the big screen, but to be honest, not everyone wants to sit down like that, and to be able to have visibility on different images throughout the venue displays. It's an amazing experience. To me, the stage is the area where all of us will be standing. That is us. We are the stage. The filmmakers that will come on stage, we have only two, and they're not really going to do any, not going to be any show and tell. No dog and ponies. No, let's go. No one's going to break open an NLE and go into it. We're really lucky to have Black Magic Design as our core sponsor. They've been with us since the get-go, and we love Grant Petty. Thank you, Grant, for everything that you have done for us so far. And Dan May, thank you, Dan. So they are helping us with having. I've wanted to have like special guests,
Sure.
like come and meet, come
Absolutely.
and meet Adam Sandler. No, Adam, we don't have you this year, but we have Julian Terry on behalf of Black Magic, and it's not even on behalf. He's just there to meet with you and to answer questions about what he's done. And Julian is the filmmaker that has 3 of his short films that have been bought and are being turned into features.
Wow.
And one of them he just shot with a Black Magic camera called Don't Peek, and the Basilevs are going to turn that into a feature. So I mean, you can do it, and you're going to be able to listen to how he did it, and you're going to be able to meet with him and actually have a drink with him, and and he'll be happy to stand next to you at the social media wall.
Absolutely.
But yeah. And then Adobe, we love you, Adobe, and I really want, for me, I want it to be a level playing field for everyone. I'm really the type of guy that's like I root for the underdog. I want.
Absolutely. Sure.
It's great to have top list A talent out there, and they all talk blah blah blah. I want to hear from the people that are up and coming and aspiring, and that can inspire me to do things that may not have been done yet.
Sure. Absolutely. Now, did you see?
Adobe has brought a person that I'm really excited to meet at the Super Meetup. Her name is Halise Narve, and she has her own channel, Halise, and she has a web series called "This Could Have Been an Email." And she's done wonderful content for Google, YouTube, Spanx, Target, and PBS. And one thing that I'm really excited that she does is that she has another video podcast called Trying to Be Somebody, where she interviews BIPOC artists on their process.
Ah,
And so I'm excited about that. And my other business that we had to fold down, Jupiter Hall. We were all about that, a community hall that we featured everybody, and it was true diversity. And we had shows with immigrants, and yeah, it's. I don't want to start crying on the. I really love doing. That's my passion. That's my wife's passion is working with people and doing events. And it's been Richard. It's been a rough couple of years. I'll be honest with you. I cannot lie. Having to give up my business that I loved, and then my other business, the SuperMeet. Being having twice, 3 times.
right.
Try to make it happen, and then it gets canceled, and then
Right.
it's like okay,
I know.
okay,
Yes.
but we're back, and that's exciting. Everyone.
It
should
is
be happy.
exciting. It is exciting.
It's not about it's about being together. It's nothing other than that. And why wouldn't you want to meet people when you're at NAB, which is the greatest show on earth? Well,
It is. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. No, and the SuperMeet since I've been coming to NAB is one of the main attractions. That's one of the reasons I want to go to NAB. So,
Yeah.
Black Magic too. Their booth is fantastic.
Oh yeah, everybody, Apple, everyone, every company or sponsor or people that either do things to get the message out with their awareness and marketing plans, and just there are some companies that just want to do it. They're happy when you're happy because you have a full belly. It's called philanthropy.
No, absolutely.
It's really about a longer term vision of market share, but just doing the right thing in my eyes.
Absolutely.
So, we wait, and you never know what's going to happen at the next SuperMeet, or SuperMeet Up, I should say. Will we call it a SuperMeet next year? I'm going back and forth. We'll see
Okay.
how the details are. I love SuperMeet. We've got tremendous branding.
Right.
The word SuperMeet is in SuperMeet Up, but I really want people to think about up, forward, moving. What's the future, and how can I be part of that?
Absolutely. So anybody can go to, is it supermeet.com? Yes, it is. Supermeet.com. And these are some of the sponsors, of course, Black Magic, NAB Show itself, Adobe, Intel, Frame.io, Boris, OWC, LucidLink. I have to stop by their booth. I've heard a lot about them over the last couple of years.
We're really excited to have them. They are our cloud collaboration sponsor, and Frame.io is our cloud sponsor. This year, we always have a theme, if you will.
Right.
Like we covered 3D, we covered, all sorts of themes, including when Life of Pi was made, and poor creatives were being treated like slaves. We had a big event on that, just having a conversation. But this year it's camera to cloud. It's cloud. It's the effort to move into being able to edit with other people or tell your story with other people that you may have not even thought that you could.
Right.
And making the workflow easier. As long as we have a democracy, we'll be able to have some amazing stories being told.
So one of the features that people have been requesting that the Apple team in Final Cut Pro incorporate is collaboration. It's been on the list for quite a while. Now, just yesterday, in case you missed it, they updated Final Cut Pro to 10.6.2 with some amazing features. It has two main key features. Vocal isolation is really, really good. I tried it out today. It uses machine learning.
Yeah.
It's not like an EQ trick that is trying to EQ a voice. It's using machine learning. I was very impressed. I tried that out today. And of course the key feature, what is the key feature? I can't even remember now. The key feature in Final Cut. I'll have to look at
I missed it because I haven't been on the internet over the past.
Well, congratulations.
Other than posting my daily Wordle.
Oh, dupe detection. Dupe detection. Dupe detection.
What's that?
Dupe detection.
Dupe detection, yes. No, that's great.
Well,
I love it. Everyone wants to see their tools get better.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Thank you, Apple. Thank you, Adobe. Thank you, Blackmagic. Thank you, Avid.
Yeah.
Everybody has a contribution to make.
Well, interestingly,
about Final Cut.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Dan, as you're dealing with Apple over the years.
Yes.
They allowed a leak of their beta Final Cut Pro in March. Apple did.
I heard about that. And who did it?
It was iJustine initially. She had a video up.
Genius.
And she said, look at this new feature up. She goes, by the way, I'm using this beta version of Final Cut. Look at this new feature, it's dupe detection. And then Steve Martin came out a couple days later with a tutorial on dupe detection and vocal isolation, and other people did as well. What changed? All these years, they clamped down on any, if you're on the beta team, you can't say anything. This year, it's like, it's free for all. Free for all.
Right.
So something changed in there.
And that's good. That's for the better. And thank you, Apple.
Oh, I like that as well. I like that. I mean, I don't want to see a beta version 6 months out. That's too long to wait. Yeah. But a couple weeks out, that's fine.
Right. You can put your website live when everything's done and finished just the way you want. Right. Or you can get it out there and get input, Right. And I think Apple has the right vision now. They've always had the right vision, but in the past there's been, even with the SuperMeet, there's been issues with leaks and people announcing things. And our SuperMeet is a place where lots of firsts happen.
Right.
Over the years, it's been really fun. I have fond memories of that.
Well, the classic one was when Final Cut Pro 10 was released, debuted worldwide at the SuperMeet 11 years ago, April. That right now, they debuted Final Cut Pro at the SuperMeet, and
I think we even made it on CNN.
Is that right?
CNN website, they mentioned it at. I don't think they said SuperMeat, but it was good enough. I smiled.
Yeah, and then you made it on what's that late show host, the redheaded guy,
Conan.
I mean, you didn't make it, but the Final Cut Pro when 10 came out, even he did a skit on the using Final Cut Pro because with his editors, it was a humorous piece.
He was actually in the audience during that. No, I'm just kidding. But Conan, anytime, Conan, anytime.
Yeah, exactly. That was, thank God somebody videotaped that. You weren't supposed to, I know. You weren't supposed to, I understand.
At the SuperMeet, they had their marketing people, they're the marketing police, I guess you would call them. They were going through the audience and saying, put away your camera, take the tripod down, put it away. We can take it and give it back to you.
Sure.
But the rebels, the square pegs on the round holes.
Sure.
We still took the cameras out. We still did what we wanted to do, and it's a good thing. The story behind that was, at least the way it was revealed to me, and I think Richard Townhill told us, was that they had they're coming up with, they were going to announce Final Cut 10, and Steve Jobs was saying, "Oh, what event can we do? How can we make this happen? A splash?" And somebody on the team, maybe the marketing, the pro apps people and whatnot said, well, the Final Cut Pro community is celebrating their 10th anniversary on the SuperMeet, and somehow I guess that clicked, and the rest is history. Steve wasn't there, but I'm sure he heard about it. And who I did meet was Phil Schiller, and that was fun.
So you mean to tell me Steve Jobs was the one that decided ultimately to have the Final Cut Pro 10 revealed at SuperMeet? I didn't know that.
This could be urban legend, but at least it was told to me from people at Apple that's the way it happened.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That was anyway. Thank God the people that videotaped that didn't listen to Apple. Listen, Apple. What are you making here? This thing records 4K in ProRes.
And you don't want us to use it?
Of course we can use it. Well, speaking of exactly the same kind of thing. So Apple presented at NAB in 2017 and 2018 in the convention center. The Final Cut Pro team was there. They did an official Apple presentation of Final Cut Pro in the convention center. I think Future Media Conferences gave them one of their rooms to have it in. Hundreds of people showed up. So the first one is when they announced 2 million seats. I had just started streaming live at that point, mostly with Facebook because it was the easiest to do. I went in with my iPhone and I was streaming it live. And I captured the 2 million announcement on screen. Now, subsequently, and it has like 7,000 or 8,000 views. I mean, all the news, the Apple news sites picked up that clip. I put it on YouTube and they played it. But subsequently, they made the announcement, we don't want you to videotape, we don't want you to audio record because we're not, in 2018 and 2019, we're not setting up a stage to be videotaped. But that first one I got in there, I just said, I'm not going to ask permission, I'm just going to do it. I'm streaming it live.
You rebel, you.
I'm streaming it live. Well, listen, I worked at the National Archives. I'm always recording behind the scenes. And
my favorite memory, how many times have you been going to NAB? How many years?
2016, 2017, and 2018 and 2019. So 4 years.
Well, I've been going there forever.
Right.
Before Apple was there, before cell phones, I guess.
Right.
But and it's been amazing. And I was a Media 100 editor back then, and Media 100 really did have a good market share. I did things with the folks there. We even had a web series called I Can Stream, which we did some amazing stuff on there. It was fun. And that was a partnership between Media 100 and Can. The big thing was Firewire,
Oh, yeah.
It didn't exist on it existed on Media 100, but it was like was it like a $6,000 option or something? And that was the year that we went to NAB, and there was rumors in the air that there's some sort of new software that utilizes Firewire, and it was Final Cut Pro, and that was the birth, and and then the subsequent events that would happen, and
absolutely.
That year was really year.
Firewire in a Macintosh computer enabled me to do video editing in the late 90s. First, I started on Premiere on the Mac, and then Adobe dropped Mac support. I think it was Premiere 6.5, and they dropped the Mac support for a couple of years. So at that point, Final Cut Pro came out. So I went from Premiere, which I started on, because that Final Cut wasn't out when I started. And then I jumped on Final Cut Pro and been with it ever since. But Firewire cameras and the Firewire connectivity and bringing that full quality video and edited it on a computer was incredible in those days.
Mini DV revolution.
Yes.
Remember that? That was,
yeah.
I don't even know that will be, that will happen again. Maybe, but that was certainly a defining moment in storytelling. And
it is. And you know what? the new thing is iPhones and phones shooting video. We can shoot ProRes on this thing now, right?
Right. My
And
iPhone has 2 terabytes on it.
you got the 2 TB. I got the 1 TB. It's yeah.
Yeah. My first editing project was with Adobe Premiere, I think 2.5.
Okay.
And I was editing on a Mac, a Power Mac 8500, my favorite, and on a 1 gigabyte drive.
1 gigabyte in those days must have been incredibly expensive.
Yeah, I was still able to tell it was a 3-minute piece that I did first, but we were shooting with a Sony camera, VX1000, I believe.
Yeah,
so it was fun.
So let's talk a little bit more about the SuperMeet. I want to get back to that.
Sure.
2 terabytes. So
low 10J.
Yeah, let's go back.
Yeah, so again, the Super Meetup is for you, for everyone, and there's no pretentious, attitudes here. It's all about, meeting people, meeting the next person you might work with. People have gotten married at Super Meets. Or
now
engaged,
that's the rooftop view of the beer. What is it called? The beer.
That's the outside patio. The beer garden is where all the red canopies are. It's the outside
Right.
porch. It's called the patio.
Okay.
500 seat capacity. As you can see, it's right underneath the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
And then on the inside, there's another just as huge area. Actually, it's a little bigger, but it holds 500 seat people too.
Fantastic.
That'll be next year. We'll do it. We'll have a fun time with a lot of people. And it'll be a really a decent thing. But Beer Park is a great place. I'm actually staying in the Paris. And what was great about this NAB? How it was really lenient with airlines and hotels that you could cancel up to
right.
Maybe 3 days or whatever before.
Yep.
So
yep.
we and that's how we move forward. We booked our flight and hotel knowing that if things got canceled,
right. I did too.
We're not losing out all that money.
I did too.
And we even had the clause with Beer Park that if NEB or any new mandate was imposed and the trade show wasn't happening, we would get our deposit and money back.
Right. You had to. There's nothing else you could do.
Right. I mean, it can be said that you can really set your own terms with people during times like this, but I do it in a very respectful way.
Of course.
And we're able to get something together that I think is going to be unique and fun. It'll be something that'll be talked about, and we'll keep doing it. And, until I get my pugs to do it and I retire. I don't know.
Let's talk about some of these prizes.
Oh, yeah. We have door prizes. We have the Black Magic Ursa Mini Pro. Well, I can't read it for me. 12K.
It's Ursa Mini Pro 12K. They have a 12K camera.
Right. And that is going to be one of our door prizes. That's what, $6,000? Something like that.
$6,000. Yep. No lens. You have to get your own lens, though.
Yeah, no lens, right. But everyone, and that's an EF mount. So, mostly everyone has EF. And then HP is going to give away their new HP Z2 Mini.
Okay.
With a color Dream Color display. That is, I believe, a 5,000, 5,600 value.
That's what it says.
Yeah, our friends at Dell Technologies and NVIDIA are giving away the RTX 6000, I believe, GPU.
Yep.
And that's another, it's like 4,300 or something like that.
4,400, 4,399.
Yeah, everyone is giving. The thing is the people, the companies know that you, the audience, the people that are at the Super Meet, enjoy this and appreciate and being able to test out new products and they know that you're going to implement their product into your workflow, and that's why they do this. And it's a good messaging for them. I mean, what better way to get your product out into the hands of the real users that can really spread word of mouth in your own community? You're kind of like an ambassador.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Adobe.
Adobe's going to do a 1-year Adobe Creative Cloud all apps subscription.
We're giving 4 of them away. We're giving 3 more cameras: Pocket Cinema Camera Pro, 6K Pro. Honestly, Aja is giving away the T-Tap Pro. More hardware: GlideCam, DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor. We're giving away a ton of those.
Yes.
And also Tool Farm's giving away some of them too.
Yes.
And then the software packages that are available, including our friend, I love Steve Ripple.
Yep.
Sorry, you really are Steve Ripple, but Steve,
yeah, he is.
Steve
Martin,
Ripple. Thank you. I mean, he's been a friend of mine for years.
Yep.
And I'm happy. Thank you for helping to participate in the raffle. You're part of the friends that, if you look above, we have sponsors who have helped us in different ways. And I like to call it with a little help from our friends.
Absolutely.
No, Ringo will not be at the event, but
no, Ringo will not be there.
I am seeing him in Guilford, New Hampshire. On
Who else is in his band? Do you know?
Steve Whittaker, Colin Hay.
Nils Lofgren, by any chance? He plays with him sometimes.
So, Supertramp singer.
Okay.
I forget his name. But and then, of course, Ringo.
Right.
And then,
Ringo's great.
June 4th. Yeah, that's June 4th. And then 3 days later, I go see Paul McCartney at Fenway Park. And
oh, man.
Very interesting.
I'm very, very jealous. I saw Paul McCartney on one of his tours, early tours. It's one of the best concerts I've ever seen, production-wise.
Yeah, I saw him in 2013 at Fenway, and and he kept playing. He didn't want to, he's not the type of guy that's going to say, okay, 45 minutes have passed, 2 hours have passed by. He was there, God, almost like 3 hours. It was fun.
Did you see the Beatles documentary on Disney? 6 hour?
Oh, yes. And I encourage anyone that is interested in the Beatles or Beatle fan or not a Beatle fan, Beatles fan, watch this. Get Back. It is a 3-part miniseries.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And it really, I learned so much from
I did too.
How they interact with each other, that they actually, really were involved in. They were one-take wonders.
Listen,
how they would perform,
when I realized, well, I've seen the film, the Get Back film, the rooftop concert when it came out years ago, but the build up to that, and the amazing thing is, this is what they set up for people who haven't seen it. It's not going to spoil anything. They set up, they were going to write 13 new songs in 2 weeks and film it and get ready for a live television audience. It was like insane. And when they first start tinkering with these songs, you're going, man, it doesn't sound good. It's out of key. It doesn't. And at the end, all these beautiful songs came out of it.
They were first, I forget what studio they were in, and they didn't like the sound of it because it's too reverberant. And they went into another studio. And just the interaction between everyone, and when Ringo left, and then briefly, and then when Paul left, not Paul, but George left.
Right.
The reasons behind that you find out, but they're all back together, and the interplay between John and Paul was amazing. I really love that. But
the thing is, the culmination came out in the rooftop concert. Was the build up to that was absolutely incredible. This was all the behind the scenes, but they filmed 60 hours. Beatles gave them permission. The one incredible thing that they did, and once again, we were talking about this earlier about filming at the SuperMeet. The filmmakers put a microphone in the table that Paul and John were having at lunch, and they put a microphone in the flowers and secretly recorded them.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of things. Thank God they did that. Now, Paul gave him permission to air it because him and Ringo had to sign off on this.
Right. But I loved how when Paul had an issue, he said, we'll have a lunch over it.
Right.
We'll do lunch. But he definitely was the person that really had kept them going. He
Yes,
crafted
he
them.
was. He absolutely was. And it's not the first time that I've seen that. John Lennon even says, you've been the leader of this band for years. It's kind of like default. It isn't like he says, I want to be the leader, and he's banging his chest. It's like, I got to keep things going. I got to keep things going. Let's try to do this and let's try to do that. But brilliant songwriters, both him and John. That's why their music has lasted all this time. But when some of these songs start out, I'm like, man, that doesn't sound that good, And then they brought Billy Preston in, and boy, that changed everything.
Oh my God!
It changed everything.
The way that they would start out and they see how the song develops.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
I have an experience that I need to share quickly about the Beatles.
Okay.
Before we get back to Super Meetup, but the day after that John was shot in New York, there was a Beatles convention in Boston that we went to. My friends from high school, and everyone was not moping, but they're all, oh my God, I can't believe it,
Right.
And then they had this big raffle prize, and we were in the audience. I was talking, I didn't hear it, and then suddenly I heard Dan Bérubé. Yeah, and then my friends were saying, "Go, go, go!" And I go up to the front, and I won the top prize, and it was an original cell of a Blue Meanie from Yellow Submarine.
Oh, I love that. Love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have that today framed. But I tried to get Ringo, and I tried to get Paul for the Super Meetup, but they were just tied up.
Yeah, I think they're a little, even at this late stage in their careers, they're a little busy, both of them. Ringo was absolutely the star of that.
Julian Terry. What's that?
Ringo was a star of that Apple documentary. He was so peaceful, and just whatever you tell, he just kept things cool.
Yeah, when I growing up, we would hear that Paul played all the drums, like Ringo, he wasn't really a musician. That's not true.
No, he's fantastic.
Although I think George wanted him to play in another key oftentimes, but Ringo's got it. He's got it down. And not only does he have one of the best sense of humors still today, and he's
exactly
still cracking that.
Exactly.
He also has a very beautiful wife, Barbara.
Yep.
And one of my favorite films was their film. I'm really bad with titles. It was the Caveman. What's it called? Caveman?
I'm not familiar with that
movie.
No.
Oh my God, you have to watch that movie. It was with Ringo and Barbara, and there's stop motion in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the Super Meet. We're gonna. Here's the prizes. How much? 56,000. I think I saw. Was that what it was?
Right now, it may top 60 by the Super Meetup when it actually happens. But it's great. I still haven't added. So I think Lucid Link is giving something really strange. I don't know if it's a joke or not, but they're doing. Well, I'm not going to reveal it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The event. It's fun. But yeah, they're all great. Everyone's contributing in some way, and the software either works. Usually, they typically work for almost any NLE, if you will, or you can at least buy the version that works for you.
Sure, absolutely.
Of course, we have the Apple ecosystem represented. We have Blackmagic Design. We have Adobe. What we don't have lately or the past years is Avid. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
If people can help me along that way, I would love that.
They initially said that they weren't going to be at any live event this year, but now they're going to be at NAB, but not like a public booth, but more to meet with some of their constituents and clients and stuff.
Okay.
They are there now. Avid is going to be there, but not in like a public booth where they're demonstrating things. So
I think Blackmagic took over their booth space, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you
Interesting.
go.
Well, the same with Apple. Apple was doing that, and then they left, and then they had their own set of suites, and what was it, the Marriott or whatever. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah, they did for a few years. That's right. They did their thing.
I used to be an Apple certified trainer, and
Oh,
it was
I
fun.
still am. I still am.
Yeah, but oh, you are. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah. Since version 5, since Final Cut Pro 5, I've been a trainer. As a matter of fact, I took a course down at the Washington, not the convention center, the whatever that place is down in D.C. I went down and took a course, and I got certified. I got one of the things with the course was you get a certification. You can take the test exam and all that, and I got certified. Maybe it was 4 or 5, but I think it was right around 5. And then I ended up going up to New York. That was just an end user certification. And then I ended up going to New York to Apple headquarters to get certified to be a trainer, an actual certified trainer. Yeah.
I did that.
And I kept it up. I kept it up all these years. That was with Final Cut Pro 6 or something like that. And I transitioned from 6, 7, and then to 10. So
Okay.
the last one they have is Final Cut Pro 10.4 as far as certification goes. But I think Future Media has announced they're doing a new Apple certification courses in cooperation with Apple. So they have a new thing coming out with that. So they have 3 different courses. But so,
excellent.
yeah, absolutely. So this beer park looks absolutely fantastic. I just love the looks of that thing.
Okay.
The way it looks. I mean, it's outdoors, but it has cover. Does it ever rain in Las Vegas? I don't even know if it ever rains. I guess it does.
I don't think when we were looking at the West Hall, the outdoor patio. I think the terrace. That's what they call it. It was the way that it was kind of like on the corner of the building, so
Right.
it was a little breezy. And the person that we were working with say, "You're not going to have to worry about rain, but you're going to have to worry about the wind." And I said, "Okay, well, that's fun."
That's a problem.
But then we moved to when I saw a beer park and talked to them. That was it.
Yeah.
It's fun, and don't worry if it rains. It's not going to rain in Vegas anyways.
Right.
At
It's
least
a desert.
Near there.
It's a desert.
Yeah, but it is covered by a glass ceiling.
I see that. Yeah. And it's still outdoors, but it still has a high ceiling, glass ceiling to it.
Right. Yeah. And again, I was there, so I heard it. You would think that they would be so noisy, what with the cannons from the Bellagio, the fountains and whatnot, but their sound system is great at Beer Park, and so it'll be good. Be a fun time.
So get your tickets. Tickets are $15, right?
Yes.
And you can buy them at supermeets.com, or you can buy them with your NAB. If you have an NAB, if you're already registered there, you can add them on there.
That was another thing that really was important to me to do, and we've always been associated with NAB. In the older days, we would sort of be under the radar, and we'd keep it that way.
Right.
But I always wanted to work with NAB. I think they're a great group of people. I mean, they're making this show the greatest show on earth.
Yep.
It really is. And I was able to enter, to be, we're a partner with them, and they're a partner with me, and we work together, and there's some great people there. So what I wanted and what I was able to get is if you register, with our code or whatever code you have,
right,
for NAB, and you go through all the process, but you do register. Everyone has to register for a pass. They have some extras that you can add onto it, and the Super Meetup is one of them. So it was like built-in marketing. I mean, it was just, of course, there's a fee for that, but I thought it was worth it, because it enabled me to not have to worry so much about getting the word out, but be able to work on the quality of the event.
Absolutely. So do you get any sleep during these next couple of weeks? Do you any sleep whatsoever?
Well, I'll tell you, and I don't know about you, but the best sleep that I get is always at a hotel in Vegas, because
okay.
Oh my God, the way that you can close the curtains and no light comes in and you don't hear anything, and you just wonderful, beautiful beds. I get some of my best sleep when I'm there. Yeah, I mean, I do get sleep. Actually, I'll tell you my lifestyle. We go to bed early, my wife and I, usually around 8 o'clock latest, and we wake up at 4:30. And I get probably at least between a third to half of my work done for the day by 6 o'clock. It's great. I love it, and then it enables me to do my Wordle, my Quordle, my square word. But it enables me to relax a bit, and then I because I work with people in 3 different time zones. There's power naps I take throughout the day. And typically, not so much for this one, but typically in the SuperMeet when I'm doing the logistics,
Right.
I'll be using Skype all the time. And I'm talking to people in England or in Australia or in other parts of the country that are helping. Their offices are helping to make our SuperMeet happen for the vendors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. First off, I get to see you again in person. Plus,
yeah, absolutely. That's and remember that everyone, that is the biggest thing, is that you're going to, and I'm really excited. I want to know who's coming. I want to see who's coming, meet everyone. And that's the other good thing about, having our registration off of NAB, is because it's not just the same. I mean, yeah, I'm all about having the, the traditional, I'm going to meet you, and, I always know I'm going to meet you at the SuperMeet or at NAB. But it's great to be able to have new people that come into the fold and total strangers, and see how they enjoy the whole event. And then they come back, and then their friends come, that sort of thing. It's not like where you're going to see it. It's not something that's going to get tired. I saw you last year. Or, it's the same people. I want to see new people,
Yeah.
That's what that's what we're working on. And, again, it's all about community. That's my tagline. And
especially this year. I mean, we've all been pent up for years.
Right.
Like you were talking about getting canceled, the NAB getting canceled. I was booked for all 3 of them. I, of course, had to cancel each one subsequently. But this one's going to go through. So
I lost money in the past 3 years doing that. And the biggest fear for me this time was signing contracts, not knowing if the event was going to happen or not. But luckily, all the contracts had the stipulation that COVID restrictions got imposed. And
absolutely, it should. Absolutely. Well, they're finally getting back. I watched the people were talking about the big crowds at NAB, but I watched the Comic-Con video from December of 2021, and it was crowded as heck. There was a combination of masks and no masks, and that was December, and things have gotten much, much better since then, in the United States anyway.
That's bucket list for me to go to the San Diego one. I've been to there's a very small version of it in New Hampshire. There's the Boston version of it, but
okay.
I actually want to do the Comic-Con SuperMeet. That would be fun. We've been talking about.
I have a comment here from Tangier Clark. What is your speculation on why Apple is returning to NAB? Apple is not returning to NAB. Who told you that? What I said, and I've been saying this because of something that I know, I said Final Cut Pro is going to have a presence on the show floor. It's not Apple. But Final Cut Pro will have a presence on the NAB show floor. They haven't been there forever. I think I asked Brad Olson. He said 2007 maybe was the last time they were on the show floor.
Right. Yes.
So there you go.
People that need to be there from Apple will be there in their own way, having meetings behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, the team's always there. They're there all the time. But I mean, and this is not Apple doing this. It's somebody else in cooperation with Apple. And the announcement will be coming forward at some point shortly. But Final Cut Pro is going to have presence on the NAB show floor, on the floor, not even in the booth somewhere tucked away in a building or a little booth, on the show floor. So I'm looking forward to that.
NAB or what? Or,
NAB.
You know something I don't know?
I'm privy to things. People listen. I don't reveal anything that somebody would want me to reveal. I get texts and messages from people all the time in different areas, and they say, "Hey, did you know about this?" Or "Don't say anything," but whatever. And I never reveal anything.
Yeah. There's no. What do you gain from it?
No, exactly.
Other than saying, I was the one. It's not a good way for making friends.
No, of course,
It doesn't do anything for anybody. I mean, there's reasons why it needs to be not secret, but on disclosure or embargo.
Yeah, of course.
So,
if there's any first off, I don't reveal anything. Second off, if I'm curious about something, I'll ask if I can reveal something. And sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. But the thing is, since I'm not on the beta team of Final Cut Pro, I can speculate all I want. I can speculate as much as I want. Nobody can say anything. I came out in February of this year on one of these live streams, and I said Final Cut Pro is going to be updated before NAB, and that's exactly what happened. When's
the WDC? That's in June, right?
Yes, in June. WWDC. Okay. Two things happen in June, WWDC and Final Cut Pro's birthday. June 21st, 2011, when it was released.
Right. All right. Spill the beans. No.
It's really something really nice that's happening.
Yeah. I just want to be easily be able to edit on my iPad and throw it into Final Cut Pro 10 when I need to.
Yep.
I can do that right now with Adobe, but I want to do that also with Final Cut.
But you can do that now, Dan. You can do it with iMovie, and you can do it with Lumafusion. Both.
I get it. I have both. I am interested again to hear what's going to happen with Resolve.
Yeah. Well,
everyone, and like you said in the beginning of the show, the whole idea about what's Apple going to do with the cloud and
collaboration. Sure.
Now, Frame.io did get acquired by Adobe, but they're not going to stop supporting other NLEs. It's all about collaboration ultimately. But,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't it exciting times?
It's incredible times. It's absolutely incredible times. Just everything's finally getting back to somewhat normal. Hopefully it continues, at least in the United States. Other places may not be so lucky, I guess. But I'm just glad to get out again. I mean, just glad to get out. That's what get to NAB. Absolutely. All right, Dan. Anything else? Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about before you leave?
I want to talk about the Beatles again.
Yeah, exactly. We can have a whole session on that.
Yeah. But again, thank you, Richard, for being able to have me on the show and
absolutely
for me to be able to share with people what the Super Meetup is all about. We can spend hours talking about it, but when you get to the point, it's all about community.
Absolutely.
SuperMeet.com. If you can make it, we will be happy to see you. Spread the word. We will be filming Julian Terry. And so we'll have that up on the website at some point.
Absolutely.
But, the big thing that I'm going to leave you with is we are about 75% positive that we will go to IBC in September. So I'd be interested to hear from people who are going because it'll help strengthen our belief that it will happen. But, I want to get back into doing, Las Vegas in April and IBC in September for Super
Absolutely.
Meets.
Absolutely.
And then the Super Meetups can happen anytime, anywhere. And the last one I had before this was in Boston. But we'll do it again. I shall see you bring extra socks with you for all the walking that you'll do.
Yep.
And,
absolutely.
Drink a lot of water and
absolutely. I drink coffee and water. I bring. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I drink 2 or 3 cups a day, but it's got to be good coffee. I don't want McDonald's coffee or 7-Eleven coffee.
Oh, you can go to Circus for that.
Yeah,
But
I bring
what
my
are you
own
saying?
coffee, Dan. I bring my own coffee. I grind it, and I bring my own pour-over stainless steel tea kettle and an AeroPress. I'm good to go.
Nice. You got the press?
Yeah, it's because you wake up in the morning. I don't want to get dressed and go get a coffee. I want to drink coffee before I get dressed in my room and just then wake up. Then I'll go downstairs and have a coffee and whatever.
And there was a time that the hotels in Vegas would have coffee pots or coffee,
Do they still? I'm not sure if they still do or not.
They don't do it anymore. They want you going down, buying the $10 coffee, and then while you're at it, hey, why don't you do some gambling? Or
yeah, I'm not a gambler, so they won't get me there. That's for sure. All right, Dan. I'll be at the SuperMeet, of course, and I'll be, doing my normal filming of behind the scenes stuff and getting a good atmosphere of what's actually going on, because that's what people want to see a lot of times as well. So
excellent. Well, I hope to see you there with your camera.
I will be. Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you going to go on the show floor and you're not going to go to all the? Are you going to try to hit booths and interview people, or?
So, mainly, I'm there for Final Cut, but I also for Resolve. I'm a big fan of Black Magic and what they've been doing for the last couple of years. I mean, just incredible, their pace of development and stuff. So yeah, I'll be stopping around booths, doing some interviews. Some will be live, some will be just recorded for future streaming. All right.
The big thing is it's safe. It's safe to go to Vegas now.
Yep.
It's safe to be at NAB. NAB is going to do the right thing to make it safe.
Yep.
We are doing the right thing at the Super Meetup to make it safe.
Yep.
We're outdoors. We're respecting.
Yep. Absolutely.
One thing we're doing is we are going to have wristbands at different colors. There are going to be 3 different colors. One color will be if you want to, stay away, do your 6 feet away. Another color will be, okay, talk to me, fist bump, whatever. Another color will be, give me a hug,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we're actually going to do that just to help people feel safer about being there.
Perfect. Perfect. Talk to you later, Dan. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.